Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be with you here at iOS Summit. My name is Moataz Nabil, and I'm working as a developer advocate at Bitrise. And today we have an interesting topic, especially for me, because it's related to testing, and I worked before with test automation and testing. But today we are talking about a special type of testing, which is security testing for iOS application or in general for mobile apps. So today we will be talking about the DevSecOps and how we can injecting security into a mobile CI/CD pipeline, or the injecting security testing in the DevOps lifecycle in general. So as Rodrigo mentioned, so I started my career as a .NET developer, and then after that I switched to be a test engineer or software engineer in test. I worked with different business domains like agriculture, telecom, healthcare, and food delivery. But now I'm focusing more with DevOps and DevSecOps and helping mobile developers to accelerate their releases by adding the best practices into the CI/CD pipelines, and how they can involving different practices to be able to release frequently or release their apps frequently and with the quality as well. So nowadays, as we know, if we are working with an enterprise application or a startup or a unicorn company, we need to release mobile apps frequently. And as we know, most of the companies are now trying to adopt the 2 weeks release cadence, or maybe 1 month, or maybe there are companies are releasing every 2 months. But the main idea that most of the companies nowadays, they need to release their apps with a speed frequently, maybe every 2 weeks. I know companies are releasing every 1 week, one for iOS and one for Android if they have both native application. And also we need to think about security, because these are the 3 factors for releasing mobile apps nowadays, or to be able to release our mobile apps. So speed, frequently, and security are the major factors for releasing mobile apps nowadays. But at the beginning, why security is critical, and why security we mentioned here in the factors for releasing mobile apps. Recently, there was like a research study or a report, and they found that the high-risk vulnerabilities or issues or security issues were found in 38% of a mobile application for iOS and 43% in Android applications. Most of the data or our sensitive data are like at the risk. For example, passwords, financial information, banking account or banking details, card holder details, personal data, and all of the things that we usually we adding in the mobile application. Insecure data storage vulnerability was found in 76% of mobile applications, which is huge number. And this one of the famous issues or vulnerability usually you can find in the security issues or security problems. And in 2021, mobile breaches cost the businesses or the different companies, like cost them billions of dollars in lost revenue, brand reputation damage, and other costs. And as we know, recently we heard about the issue or the security issue with the Uber, the application or the mobile application, and we heard that most of the social posts about this issue, like please remove your credit cards from the application, or please take care, maybe you can change your password, and so on. So security mainly will, or security issues will give the customers or your client like a bad repetition, or maybe they can add like a negative feedback in the app stores about your application, which will for sure cost the company's revenue, and we will have at the end the damage or like brand reputation damage and other costs. Because of this, security is important. And today, why we are talking about security, this is mainly the target of our talk today. We need to focus on security. We need to take care about security checks and different process in the releasing or in the mobile development lifecycle. What are the impact of weak mobile app security? We have 2 types of impact. We have long-term and short-term. So for example, you have a poor repetition. So your customers are not satisfied with your application because they are not feeling safe about their data and their personal data, bank account, and everything in your mobile application, because maybe you are not secure enough as a mobile company or as a mobile team or a mobile application, and maybe the data can be exposed, or they can be stolen from any other hacker in the internet. You have also impact in financial consequences, and also you have like drop in the customers' numbers, and so maybe this can be affected as well. Usually the attackers or hackers usually focus on four main area in your or inside your mobile applications. The first one are the credentials. So they're trying to find or to get your credentials with different ways, maybe by phishing or like sending your fake URLs. Maybe you can click on one on the SMS, maybe one on the WhatsApp a message and everything. So they're trying to steal your credentials, like device and external services, maybe from the device, from maybe accessing also, maybe you can download a mobile application and you can find that this is, for example, a simple application for maybe a to-do list, and then you found that maybe they need access to your camera or something like this, so which is usually trying to access your credential or your private data or your personal data and so on. Personal data, the name, address, and location. So usually also they are searching about this info. Card holder data, as we mentioned, if you are using e-bank account, so e-bank application. So for sure, now we are using most of our transactions. We are using e-bank account or digital bank application. So maybe they try to, or even with the e-commerce application. So usually we are doing it on a daily basis. And even especially during the pandemic, we were using mobile apps in everything. So e-commerce application, food delivery application, and digital banking, for example. And access to the device, like connection sniffing or spamming or stealing trade secrets and so on. So these are the main four targets for the attackers. There are also three major threat points that attackers target. The data storage, usually they're trying to access the data storage, such as key store, configuration files, cache, app database, and app file system. Binary methods, such as reverse engineering, like the application, code vulnerabilities inside the source code itself, embedded credential. Maybe you are adding, maybe one of your team members are adding or is adding, or someone adding like hard-coded credentials in the code base, which is for sure can be one of the important vulnerability inside your application. And also key generation algorithms and the platforms such as a function hooking and the malware installation. Maybe they can send you a link to install application. Maybe they told you that you are a winner now with a prize, so you can download this application and you will be a winner, and so on. So this mainly about the way that the hackers or attackers usually using to be able to access your data inside the application. So now, based on the WASP project mobile, so WASP project is like organization or open source projects for taking care of the security, helping companies and the developers to understand what are the security standards, how they can test their application, what the standards for security testing for each section or each stage. So they mentioned that we have almost 10 security threats in iOS application, or even in mobile application in general. You have an improper platform usage, you have insecure data storage, insecure communication, authentication, and authorization. And also you have insufficient cryptography, client code quality, code tampering, reverse engineering, and experience functionality. So we have a 10 security threats in iOS application. Maybe you can find in this link that these threats mainly from 2016, but they are still used nowadays as vulnerabilities or threats inside a mobile application. So recently also I was like reading this ebook. It's about accelerate the science behind DevOps, and I was just wondering how we can accelerate, or if there is any tips and tricks to accelerate the DevOps cycle inside our company. and even in the organization. So this is mainly like this ebook is like a survey they did with different companies, and they asked a lot of development teams from enterprise to a startup to unicorn companies. So it doesn't matter the size here. So they asked them about how they delivered their code or software, and they found the 6 keys values or 6 keys capabilities for accelerating software development and the delivery in a company. One of these capability is security testing. So here you can find that the first one is a trunk-based development process. So don't use a huge branch, just use small branches, and you can create a BR, and so to be able to give it to someone to review it, and just to have not have a huge BR, it's including different features, which is after that you will find a conflict in your code. Implement this automation, which is a vital part nowadays in any company or as in a testing process. So test automation is important. And then number 3 is shift left on security, which is you need to move, or you need to focus about security testing. You need to move the security checks or security testing in early stages, which is in the early stages of the development. So don't test the security after you release your mobile application. No, you can, or you need to, or you should run the security testing in early stages of the development, like in every BR, and even if someone changes something in the code, so you can just run the security testing on this layer. The 4th point is automate the deployment process, which is related to the continuous integration and continuous delivery. Automation here also is the key. Automation in general in releasing mobile apps, testing, monitoring, and so on. So automation is important for releasing mobile apps. Support test data management. You should have different test data if you have different configuration, working with different countries, or your application is serving different countries, different languages, and different like currencies. So you can use a different data or test data to be able to test your application. And as we mentioned, implement a continuous integration and the continuous delivery, or CI/CD, inside your team. These are the key 6 key capabilities to accelerate the software delivery. In general, it's not related to mobile apps, but in general to accelerate software delivery. So the 3rd point, we will focus on this one. But what the meaning of shift left on security, as we mentioned, but let's describe it quickly if you don't hear about this concept before. So mainly in general, at the beginning or previously, we were testing on the production. So for example, if the development team already create release the cadence, and then we send it to the quality engineer or our testing engineers, so they start testing it, or maybe we can release the application to the App Store, and then we will start the testing on this stage. But this is not recommended nowadays, because that they mentioned this approach. It's about moving testing to to left, which is we need to move it on early stages. So for example, shift left testing here is an approach for taking action of testing of the software and moving into left in the delivery pipeline. If you have a pipeline or workflow for delivering or releasing a software, this can be on early stages, testing of the software in the development lifecycle in early stages. And here also I can mention one of the principles usually we are saying here, which is the early fast, or which is early or fast fail, or fail fast. Sorry. So here we are mentioning usually fail fast. What the meaning of fail fast? So if you create a BR and the security checks failed in this BR, so you can imagine. So now we have a security problem inside the new code that we added inside our code base. And again, you can think about what if this security issue is occurred for the customers on the production, or after we release the mobile apps. So here you have 2 different aspects or versions. On the production, you can spend a lot of time to try to find the root cause of this security issue. But now in the BR, we fail fast, because now the CI server is failing, and the problem is we have a security problem, or one of the security checks in the pipeline is failed, which is we have a problem. We need to fix it now. We need to ask the team or the responsible team for fixing this issue, and then we can run the CI again or run the build again. to check if it's passed already or not. So here, fail fast, because if we fail fast, we will fix it quickly, and then we will run the test checks again, and then we can release our mobile apps. So now it's necessary to implement. Now we talking about shift left in testing in general as well, for test automation, run unit test, static analysis testing, and everything. But also security should be considered as a one of the testing types or testing stages on the pipeline or the CI/CD pipeline. It's necessary to implement a set of security process from as early as the planning phase to create a mobile DevSecOps environment. So previously we have a DevOps, which is development and operations. So we try to find a process to collaborate together to be able to build and release our mobile apps frequently and quickly. So quickly, we can mention, or we can describe quickly about what is a mobile DevOps, and then how we can add security, or we know now why SEC is in the DevSecOps. It's related to security. So mobile CI/CD is a build and release process to achieve quick and frequent release schedule. We have 6 key elements here, which is continuous communication and continuous planning. So we're working together as a one team. Here we have a CI/CD strategy, so we need to agree about the strategy for our CI/CD. And then we start building our application or our code base, adding features, adding UI tests. Then we can run the testing and releasing our mobile apps. Maybe we can releasing it to our beta testers or to our QA engineers, again, to double check that everything is working properly. And then after releasing, also we should add a monitoring solution. So maybe we release, maybe we can find any issue in the production. Maybe it's not happening in our testing environment, but this maybe can relate it to our production environment. Then we can measuring, we can find what is still missing, and then we will continuously doing this process with our team. Because that it's increase the communication between the team, increase the planning. So we are setting it together and know what we should do next as a next step or the next sprint if we are working in agile or a scrum process. Continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment, continuous testing and monitoring. So here we are running the testing continuously, which means continuous testing and continuous monitoring as well. We should also monitor our application on the production. But this additionally with DevOps or mobile DevOps, with the mindset of everyone is responsible for security, because that we add a DevSecOps, which is or a mobile DevSecOps. We should inject security into the process of the mobile DevOps lifecycle. So DevSecOps is a collaboration framework that expands the impact of DevOps by adding security practices to the software development and the delivery process. This is resolve a lot of issues between the DevOps team and that wanted to release the software quickly. So the DevOps team think about delivery or releasing, but the security team is thinking about security checks. So maybe security currently in our company is taking a lot of process or a lot of time, and the DevOps team is always think about we need to run or to release our application quickly. So this will help us to find a process between us to that will try security over all the process. By integrating application security principles and the practices into the software development and the operation, teams can deliver now software and services at agile speed without thinking about any issue related to security, because we're already using security checks, static analysis, static testing, security static testing, or dynamic, or maybe we have a penetration testing, and we have different types of security. We will describe them in the next slides. So now the benefits of DevSecOps, or by implementing the DevSecOps, it's the more automation, the better. So if we automate the security checks or security testing inside our process or inside our CI/CD pipeline, by embedding the automated security control and test early in the development lifecycle. Once someone or one of the developers are create a PR or just change something in the code, we will create the PR. This pull request will trigger the CI workflow, which is will build the application, maybe will sign the application, or archive the iOS application. And then we can run the security checks against this archived file or this IPA, if you are using IPA or not using archive. So it doesn't matter at the end. So, and then we can send the report to the team to double check if there is any security issues related to our code base, which will be static, or related to the dynamic testing, which is for installing the application and trying to figure out if there is any issue related to the security, and so on. DevSecOps to increase efficiency. So here you only add a security to your workflow by using a tool that can check code as it's written. Security gaps can be identified. So once you run a security checks against your code base or against your application, you will figure out what you are missing as a team. Maybe you can add in the next planning phase. Maybe we need to add this checks. Maybe we need to focus more on this part, because maybe this can drive us to the any other vulnerabilities that we are not aware or not don't know about it. Trait modeling can help you to identify the weakness. This is what I was mentioning. So we can find what the issue that we have, how we can control the security issues inside our team. Then now we need to move from DevOps, or what if we have already a DevOps, we have a CI/CD pipelines, we have our workflows, we are running our build and every BR or nightly builds, for example, or before releases or after releases as well, to double check that everything is working correctly. So now how we can inject security, or how we can move from DevOps to DevSecOps. So building security, and from the start, extending this culture of sharing understanding. And so here I believe, to be honest, personally, I believe that testing in general is a shared responsibility between the mobile team. So the developers should write test automation, even if it's unit test integration or UI test or end-to-end testing. And also the test engineers will write as well. So it's a shared responsibility between the team. Is not only responsibility of the quality engineers or testing engineers, no, it's a shared responsibility. And here also the security as well. So security is not only responsibility for security testers or security engineers in the company, but we need as a team to have a culture and a mindset about security is important, why security is important, and how we can deliver a secure mobile application. So here we have 3 steps we can use. Shift left, which test early and often. As we mentioned, we need to move testing to the left side or in early stages of the development life cycle. Choose the right security testing method, because we will find different security methods and different security tools as well in the market. So you need to find which is suitable or right for your team, for your business, for your budget as well, because you will find different between open source tools or commercial tool, or maybe you can integrate your CI/CD with any other platform. So you need to choose the right security testing method and tool for your team and your application. Establish coding standard for your team. This will be important because this is affecting the code base itself. So we have a code standard. We need to run static analysis or static testing, security testing against this standard to make sure that we don't have any vulnerability against this coding standard. Now we need to know what are the security testing methods. First one is the static application security testing, which is analyze your source code or compile the version of a code to help to find security flaws or security vulnerability. So static is not running the application itself on the device. So it's running, scanning the source code, and then it's give you a report about what you have. Maybe you are using a third-party dependency inside your application, which is affecting your security. Maybe this can be a case. Maybe you are using outdated security, outdated library inside your application, and so on. Maybe you are using hard-coded value inside your code, which is also a problem from the security perspective. Dynamic application security testing, which is required to install the application and running the application on a device, like a real user is like simulating a real user is opening the application and start testing the application from the security perspective, not like functional testing, but from security perspective. So dynamic here working with the app in real time, and the testing its behavior as an end user. Then we have interactive application. It's like combined between static analysis and dynamic analysis to use a software instrumentation, active or passive, to monitor the application performance. And penetration testing, which is testing vulnerabilities such as a network, server, web applications, mobile devices, and other endpoints. So it's these are the testing or the security testing methods. How we can choose the right security testing method? We have different types based on different or based on the stage that we are running or check the security on this stage. For example, on a CI/CD strategy, we are start thinking about the threat modeling, and then in the building, so in building a state or a stage, we are running or we are now writing code. So now we need to run static application security testing and dependency management as well. As we mentioned, maybe we have outdated dependencies, so we need to scan these dependencies as well. Then voice testing, you can have a dynamic application security testing as well, a security accept testing. So maybe we have a check list that this the test will be passed if we like have or pass the acceptance test related to the security. Maybe on releasing, maybe we can start, we have already the IPA or the application itself, and then we can start check or like running the vulnerability scanning. In the monitoring, maybe we can have a live penetration testing and the continuous monitoring. So to monitor the application, if you have anything with measuring, you can have a secure code standards or peer review as well. This is agreed by the team, and this the standard. So then we can run the testing against this standard. Here is a one of sentences from Justin. Justin is a chief security officer at Unity Technologies. He is mentioning why automated security testing is important. So here he is saying automated security testing is the future of mobile security, integrating automated security testing into the build and deploy life cycle. So we injecting security testing inside the CI/CD pipeline or the workflow or the cycle of the releasing of the mobile app, resulting in more secure app and allowing security teams to focus on complex penetration testing. So now you save time from the security team to focus more on the complex penetration testing. So, for example, they can trying to be like attackers or hackers. Maybe they're trying to find any vulnerability within your live application, which is trying to give you this report. Also with OWASP, as I mentioned, they help the developers to find or to know how they can apply security testing inside the releasing mobile apps and so on. They have a mobile app security checks. You can find on the GitHub, on the website. You can just go to OWASP and go to the mobile version, and here you can find everything related to architecture, design, threat modeling requirements, and everything. You have an idea for this issue. You can find the test case for this checklist. And here, this is a description for each one. And also, there is a spreadsheet. This is just I tried to copy most of this checklist. So for example, you can have an issue here with the data considered sensitive. For example, you have all security is addressed with all parts of the software. So here we can find different things. For example, with the data storage, as we mentioned, is one of the important things. So no sensitive data is written in the application logs as well. So this is also important. And if we go here, you can find the test case. If you click on the test case, you will find all the test cases and all the description on the GitHub. So here, this is why we shouldn't add sensitive data in the logging, and how we can find it in the static analysis and so on. So this is everything related to security with the OWASP guide. So you can find it here. Now we need to add automation or automated security tests to the pipeline. So now we know why it's important, what the different types of testing or the security testing methods. Then now we need to add the like the automated test inside our pipeline. So when writing automated unit integration, when you are thinking about functional testing for like unit test integration, end-to-end testing, security features should be considered. We need to, or we should think about security testing as well. And then you need to figure out which is the suitable tool, or which is the security testing tool is suitable in your team, or for your case. You have a third-party tool, or you have a commercial tool like Abray, Now Secure, Oversecured. You can find the different security testing tools on the market. Or maybe you are thinking about open source. Maybe you can just trying it to start the process for the security testing inside your team. So maybe you can use the one called the mob security framework. This is an open source, but I'm highly recommended usually to use a third-party companies, or like any other platform, to be like this will be like more secure, and this will help you with a guide about how you can test security inside your team. So now let's assume that we have already a pipeline and we need to inject security into our CI/CD pipeline. So for example, inside our pipeline or workflow, we are to check the repository, sign the application to build the IPA or the iOS application, run the automated security testing. So now we added like a security testing as a gate or like a check. So if it's passed, okay, we will continue. If it's failed, so we will not continue releasing the application, for example, to our beta testers to Firebase, or we will not uploading it to the deploy to the App Store, or not publishing the test result, or maybe we can publish the test result if it's already including failed test cases, and send us like notification, for example. So this is mainly the CI or CD, but the CI part. So for example, we can assume this is till this step, automated security test. This is a CI. So every time we have a pull request, check out the repository, sign the application, build the IPA, and run the automate test. This can be included also like functional testing, unit testing, static analysis testing. So different types as you like, and you agreed with your team. And once if everything is green here, so we can start in the CD part, which is continuous delivery or continuous deployment. Maybe we can deploy it to Firebase if we are using it for your beta testers, and maybe deploy to App Store, or sorry, for test flight also, or maybe to deploy to the App Store or publish test result and send it like notification. So now let's have a quick demo how we can adding a security testing tool inside our CI/CD pipeline. So here I have a Bitrise. So Bitrise is I will use Bitrise as an example for a CI/CD platform for a mobile app. So Bitrise is a platform as a service on cloud. So we don't need to have anything installed on your local machines or in your company. It's a totally on cloud. So for example, here I can go to the dashboard, and then I can find mainly most of the mobile application that I have. I have here one example of the unsecure mobile application, which is Unsafe Bank. So I will go to my application, and here you can find all the pipelines or all the build with the history, with the failed build and succeeded. And also you can go to the workflow, and with the workflow, you can design your CI/CD pipeline. So you can add or remove or rearrange steps as you like, based on what your target from this process or this workflow. It's something like a Lego. So you are building your workflow based on your needs. So for example, here I am adding or active the SSH key to be able to access the code in GitHub, and then we can clone the repository in the next step. We have a cache, which is if we run already one build before, so we can pull the caching from the first one to save time, and then run CocoaBots if you have this and for our installation, for our dependencies. We can recreate a user schema, and then we can archive and export the iOS application, which is give us at the end the IPA or the application, the iOS application, and also it can give us the vibe folder of this application. This is required, to be honest, also to have a certificate or to be or provisioning profile as well. So because of that, I am in the secrets. I can add here, in code signing, you can add your certificates, and also in the secrets, you can add your environment variables as well. And then you can add your security testing check, which is here I'm using a Now Secure platform analysis step. Now Secure is a platform for security testing, penetration testing, run static and static and dynamic security testing for your mobile application. And we have integration with it as well in this in our platform. So what you need, you need to add the IBA path, which is as an environment variable here. I will take it from sorry, as an environment here, environment variable here, I will just take it from the previous step from the archive, because if you go to the archive step, here you can find that you have the environment variable as an output, which is give you the IBA path. And then in the Now Secure, this will be the input. So the IBA path will take the IBA. And now we should add the Now Secure API token, which is I already added here in the secrets. So I just need to cancel this. Cancel the change in the secrets. You can find that you have a Now Secure API, and also you have a Now Secure group ID, which is like an ID or group at the application inside a Now Secure application. So now we have the application or the IBA and the APK and the group as well. This is only the 3 parameters. And then once we build the application, the Bitrise will, with the integration with the API from Now Secure, will take your application, send it to your account to Now Secure, and start running the testing or security testing. So here I will trigger it manually, and by the way, you can also trigger it on every PR. So before we running this like manually, I just need to mention that in the trigger or under the trigger section, you can have different triggers. You can run the CI on every push, on every BR or pull request, on every tag. So for example, in every pull request for each branch. So I just wanted to run the primary workflow. You can have different workflows, and just this is as I mentioned. So this can be run on every pull request. But now, because we don't have a pull request or we don't have any change in our source code, we just need to run it on every or just manually. So I just wanted to run the primary with the main branch. So for sure, also here you can change the branch as you like, and then we will start building the iOS application. Here also I can mention that we have an M1 machine. So now I'm building on the fastest iOS machines, which is using the Xcode 14. And usually we have here the recent Xcode versions or macOS versions as well inside within our stack or our platform. So now also we can just hover in this, you can find how many CPUs or CPUs and RAM as well you are using. Here, this is a trigger date, and this is a primary workflow. And now we are start running the workflows sequentially as we found it in the designer. So we run the CocoaPod install, recreate. Now we are archiving the Xcode, which is required the distribution method. It's a development and everything related to our configuration. Once we finish this build, we will the Now Secure step after archiving will take the IPA, send it to Now Secure. So now let's just sign in to Now Secure. So I have account on Now Secure, and then I will wait till we have IPA, and then we can figure out the application here. So till the build finish this. So now it's finished already. So we archived almost in like 40 seconds, and now we are uploading via the API with the Now Secure. So now I have the IPA, which is the unsafe bank. So now I'm uploading it to Now Secure. So now if I log into Now Secure here, I can find the dashboards related to the different apps that I have with Now Secure. What are the vulnerabilities usually inside your apps? What the app risk score based on the Android and iOS, and on the apps I can just click, and here I can find my application. And here I can find that I have the score of the security. So mainly I don't have high risk issues inside my application. But if I go back to for example, this iOS application, I have a problem, or I have high risk issues inside my application here. So for example, here I have a password exposed and can be exposed over the network, email as well, first name and last name. So I can just click on the issue, and I can find the description why this is high risk. Step 2, reproduce this problem, the business impact of this problem if this can be found on the live or the production application, and then the recommendation how you can fix this issue, and give you a code example as well from this code. So now so this build is already succeeded in 1 minute, and now we can go to Now Secure, go to our application, and now go to View now, and maybe I can just refresh the screen just to know if there is any assessment is running now or not. But anyway, this will be the result on the Now Secure. Yes, now the analysis in progress, sorry. So now we uploaded the IBA to Now Secure, and now we have a latest assessment. This is still running. If you click in View, you have here two types of testing you are running with Now Secure. You have static analysis, which is scanning your code base, and also we have this is a static analysis, and also we have a dynamic analysis. Dynamic analysis will install your IPA on a device and then start simulating as a real user to use this this application on a mobile, and then start, if you have, for example, a registration form, login form, or anything, it starts simulating with it, and then it will give you the report at the end. So let's say one of the existing report we have. So for example, this is a total run, or the app assessment we run with Now Secure, how many findings or vulnerability we found, the risk, and everything you can find here. So here, as we can see, it's already opening the application. We have an insecure mobile app. Start taking a screenshot of your mobile application and start running the dynamic testing. So for example, if I go to here, also you can filter based on the platform that you have, and with Now Secure we can just go to the like the app preview. Maybe we can wait until this. Here also you can automate the configuration. For example, maybe someone can ask how they know that we have a form for like adding a value or adding first name or last name, or we have a button. So usually they are like analysis your application, but here you can configure advanced testing. For example, you can enter custom credential. They have a default credentials inside their application or their platform, but here they found that you have a username, password, the name, first name, last name, email, phone number, and so on. And you have a default value as well. But for sure, you can change it to any value you wanted to use for your security testing. So then this is a dashboard. This is application. So the analysis or static analysis starts running. So you can click here and you can start check the result once it's finished. So you can find the report, you can download the report as a PDF. And also one more thing, what if we need to return the result to the CI/CD pipeline, and maybe we can fail the CI based on the thresholds or the result from the Now Secure? For sure, we can use the API from Now Secure to return back the result and the report to Bitrise, and then based on this threshold, maybe you can mark the build as failed, and then this can be like a check, but this also can be another option that you can run security tests just to make sure that everything is okay and your application is not in the low score of the security issues. Okay, so it was a quick demo for how we can integrate a CI/CD pipeline or platform as a Bitrise with a security testing tool like Now Secure. So at the end, as we know, mobile app security is like, remember, the security isn't something you can build. So it's something like you should evaluate, you should monitor, you should build it step by step. It's a team effort as well, and it's not like it's a journey, not a destination. So you should build it step by step. You should figure out what was the problem in the previous version of the application, and what you need to configure, and what you need to figure out or to consider in the next steps, and so on. So be patient and build your security strategy carefully, and then you will find the result at the end that you are releasing frequently, quickly, and with a security application or secure apps to your customers or to the app stores. For resources, also you can here find the two different security resources. One for a mobile app security testing guide. This is from OWASP, and the security testing, or this can be. So, for example, if I click on this resource, you can find here under OWASP, you can find the mobile application security, which is trusted by Android and a different organization here, and also you can go to the OWASP and mobile application security verification standard, which is this is a standard, and then you can find also the OWASP mobile security testing guide, which is also you can click on this thing and just click on this, and here you can find that you can download it as well, and you can find there is a section for iOS application. You can find everything related to testing, related to like code signing, related to encryption data and the protection and everything for your iOS application. Thank you, and I hope the session was useful for everyone. And thank you for attending my session. And
great presentation. I'm probably gonna start adding more steps to my Bitrise workflow immediately.
yeah.
Okay, so we have one question. How do we handle third-party dependencies for CI/CD here, basically?
So it depends on the security testing tool we are using. For example, you will find in the market there are different types of security. For example, one of the types it's scanning the dependencies. So they have a vulnerability scanning, or they are scanning your code base against any third party. If you are using third party dependencies, they can take care about it. If you have outdated version, if you have any problem. So it's mainly based on the security testing tool. But at the end, you are integrating this tool in the CI/CD pipeline, which is this is the role of the CI/CD, like arranging or organizing the running security checks. But it's because of that I mentioned it's important to know what is the right testing tool for security inside our team. It's if we have a lot of dependencies, we can figure out or think about this is one of the important point we need to double check: is this security testing tool covering this point or not, and to take a decision about this is suitable for us or not.
All right, thank you. How do we ensure the pipeline doesn't break whenever we have specific language or IDE updates? It's more of
this is about the CI pipeline.
I believe so. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. So I believe this is because especially for iOS, I know this because usually as you know, Apple usually releases different versions of Xcode and maybe the Mac OS versions as well. But this is configured as I understood this this question. So you are configure which version of the IDE you are using. For example, I can select I am now building with Xcode 14, but I can downgrade to Xcode 13, for example. It's based on the configuration of my app. And also you can configure which version you are using with CocoaBots, maybe with any other dependency management tool. So it's always configured because it's like managed service or like a platform, a CI/CD as a service or as a platform. So it's based on the configuration. So it's usually you are configure whatever you need as a specific language and the version, and this will be configured as well in the pipeline.
Yeah, thank you. And lastly, where can I find the links that were showed in the slides? I don't know if you can maybe share them in the comments or.
Yes, sure. I will, sure. Yes.
Okay. All right. So that was it. Thank you very much again. Very insightful and very helpful for pretty much everyone here, I guess. And have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.